Good morning. I'm Sheila Gray, covering some breaking news at Cincinnati Police Headquarters in the West End. Police Chief Tom Streicher is about to hold a news conference regarding Saturday night's shootout in Camp Washington with a motorcycle club. Here's Tom Streicher.
Efficiency of getting information out to you, but quite frankly, we're fortunate that in the past we have not had police officers injured. In this case, we had 2 police officers injured by gunfire. Both of those officers required hospitalization. They also have been under medication, under a sedation, if you will, on medication. And because of that, there's a delay in us being able to interview those officers. There's also a delay in us being able to get all the information that we believe we need to disseminate to the public. So we appreciate you bearing some patience with us, and we also understand that it has caused some frustration, but unfortunately we do have some officers shot. We have a PowerPoint presentation put together for you that we believe will explain exactly what occurred at the scene Saturday night. The PowerPoint presentation has been put together by Criminal Investigation Section as a result of interviews that they have conducted of all the officers that were involved there, of the Iron Horseman that were there, except for the person who was deceased, Mr. Seavey, as well as the people who were inside the bar at that time. And there were, how many interviews in total, Tom?
We're probably looking at 15 to 20.
Around 15 to 20 interviews that took place. We weren't able to interview the 2 officers who were shot until yesterday and the day before, so that's the reason that we're here today. We've now got the full information. Mike, if you could, please. This is obviously JD's Honky Tonk and Emporium, the bar where it occurred. I know all of you are familiar with it, but so people have an idea of it in your newscast. It's about 100 yards or so north of the Western Hills Viaduct on Spring Grove Avenue. Mike, this is an aerial view of the bar itself, and this will really help us set the stage for what occurred. When there was a vice officer who was traveling southbound on Spring Grove Avenue, that officer noticed some motorcycles. This is a historic picture. This isn't from the other day. The officer noticed some motorcycles that were over here on the west side of Spring Grove Avenue, north being this way, south being down there. And then he also noticed motorcycles over here around this large sign stanchion that's here underneath it. And he also saw some people there wearing colors from the Iron Horseman motorcycle gang. As a result of that, and some previous information that we've received, actually complaints from other bars on the west side of town and up in Cheviot, he immediately notified his lieutenant that there were Iron Horsemen up here, there was a separate set of motorcycles over here, and he believed that some activity may be involved there. Now that activity is what I'm going to explain to you, and this is really what provides a sense of urgency for our officers to respond there. What has been reported to us, not only by a couple of bars here in Cincinnati, but also some bars over in Cheviot, Green Township, is that Iron Horsemen reportedly have been going into bars in what we're terming as a takeover. They go into the bar en masse. Once they get inside the bar, they close the door, they position a couple of their members at the bar, and then go through the bar, and they actually are checking each and every person in the bar to see if anyone is associated with the Detroit Highwaymen motorcycle gang. If there's someone in there, the assumption is that that is going to be a point of confrontation, whether that is a fight, whether it's an assault, whatever it is, there's some confrontation that is going to occur because of friction between those 2 motorcycle gangs. And this is what creates that sense of urgency for that officer to notify his lieutenant. His lieutenant, being aware, very much aware of that information, as well as all the officers in Vice Squad, immediately assemble their people who are only a few blocks away. They put together a plan to come up here and go to the bar and ensure the safety of people who are at the bar. This is the primary concern of the officers. They assembled just south of the bar on Spring Grove Avenue. You can see this is the type of caravan that they were set up in. We have most of our officers who are going to be in the lead 2 or 3 vehicles up here, a supervisor at the back, and as you can see here, we also have uniform presence. And as we begin, the uniform car takes to the lead point of the caravan itself, so that when the caravan arrives at the bar itself, the uniform car is at the lead point in the caravan. There's no question about it that a uniform car with uniform officer is present there at the scene and pulls up and actually blocks the driveway to the parking lot to JD Honky Tonk, to the bar itself, and then allows the Vice Squad cars to take strategic points as they enter onto the lot. Now, when you look at this right here, these 4 blocks you're seeing, those are the base, or those represent the signs, or the stanchions, the large, I guess they're almost I-beams, aren't they, type of poles that are holding up a sign that can be seen from I-75. I-75 being over here on the back side or the east side of JD's Honky Tonks. These motorcycles here are the motorcycles that the officer saw along with Iron Horseman motorcycle gang members at the scene. There was this is a Corvette that you'll see later on that was parked there, and another vehicle, I'm not sure, this was just another vehicle that was parked. A couple vehicles parked at the curb here. As our officers arrived, you can see clearly that the uniform car was in the lead point and was the first car to arrive there. This is the bar itself. This area that I'm going to trace is the actual bar itself here. This area that you see out here is an outdoor patio type of beer garden. And this is the area right here where the Iron Horsemen were seated, or where they were in the beer garden itself. So we have then the Vice Squad officers pulling up in these positions here. These 2 vehicles here were both SUVs that contain several Vice Squad officers. They pull up so that they have a tactical position of advantage, or at least confronting people head on in the worry. And then the uniform car here and the uniform officer, you can see, that's a fire plug, I'm sorry, but the uniform officer coming out to ensure that there is uniform presence. All officers are wearing, I don't know if you would come up here, please. All officers from Vice Squad are wearing, as you can see, the vest that this officer has on at this point. This is the type of vest he's wearing. Clearly says police across the front. Clearly has the Cincinnati police patch on it. On the backside of it, you also see, I'm putting a red dot on you, probably not a good thing, but on the backside of it, clearly has the police patch on the backside of it. So this is the type of gear that Vice Squad officers were wearing. They pulled up, as they pulled up here, Harold Seavey, who's the person who was wanted, is situated at the extreme south end of the beer garden itself. This entire area is a fenced off area where he is, and the other horsemen are in here. As officers pull up and start to get out of their car, Seavey immediately begins to retreat back inside this side door of the bar. As he's retreating back, officers see him reach inside of his coat and extract a pistol, or extract actually something that looks like it's in a leather case. Initially they reported, but what they eventually saw was that it was a pistol, a 9mm pistol that was in a holster that was inside of a pocket inside of his coat. He immediately pulled out he pulled the pistol out, he took it out of the holster. Officers saw that, officers recognized it. They immediately challenged him to drop the weapon. As you saw here, he retreated back inside the bar. Officers approached from these angles here as best they can, taking positions of cover, using the car, using the sign stanchions, the motorcycles here. As Seavey retreats back inside the bar itself here, when he gets to the doorway, he immediately engages these officers in gunfire. This officer here is struck in the leg. He feels the bullet hit him in the leg. As he feels it, he tries to move to his left. His leg, he says, won't allow him to move to his left, and he collapses on the ground. As he collapses on the ground, he's laying on his back, he said. He said he tried to get in a sit-up position. As he sits up, he sees Seavey come out of the bar, moving directly towards him and engaging other police officers here with gunfire.